Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you were watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I have some breaking news coming out here for you, and I want to bring an update regarding Ukraine with this war against Russia. So late last night, Ukraine came under heavy bombardment again from Russian cruise missiles and drones. And again, they were targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure and gas production facilities. Okay, so Ukraine has really been getting hit hard here in terms of their energy sector. We had the Dnipro hydroelectric power plant that was hit just like a week ago. That took a massive blow to the energy infrastructure in Ukraine on the eastern side of the country. And now we have the city of Odessa here, as you can see on your screen. This is a video of the power going out in Odessa. Odessa is a city in the south western portion of Ukraine, and their energy infrastructure got hit there pretty bad. And we got tens of thousands of people that are without power right now. Okay, so we're really starting to see Russia pick up their attacks here and go after Ukraine's energy sector here and their gas production facilities. And I think a lot of this is due to retaliation as well for Ukraine launching dozens and dozens of drone attacks inside of Russia over the last few weeks here and last few months, targeting their oil and gas facilities. And I think Russia's getting payback here. So this is retaliation. And partly, I believe this is due to this holdup of this aid package in Congress. Right now, Ukraine is really short on weapons here, okay? They don't have a lot of air defense or artillery or really anything. Ammunition is very short supply for Ukraine right now. So I think Russia's taken advantage of this opportunity and trying to collapse on Ukraine right now while they have the chance. So I think that's why we're seeing this pickup of attacks here. So I'm going to get right into this. I've got some articles to show you and a couple X posts that we're going to go over as well. So this is off of Reuters. Russia says it hit Ukraine's energy infrastructure and gas production facilities. The Russian Air Force has conducted a massive strike on objects of energy infrastructure and the gas industry in Ukraine, Russian Defense Ministry said on Sunday. The ministry said it had used high precision, long range air based weapons and drones. As a result of the strike, the operation of defense industry enterprises involved in the manufacture and repair of weapons, equipment, and ammunition have been disrupted. All the goals of the strike have been achieved. The assigned objects were hit, the ministry said. So it looks like here they were also going after, says their industry enterprises involved in manufacture and repair of weapons, equipment, and ammunition. So they were probably going after ammo dumps and also some of these warehouses where they're producing, who knows, maybe drones and obviously ammunition warehouses here too. So Russia's definitely doing whatever they can right now to put the pressure on Ukraine. And I'm sure Ukraine is really feeling it here. We've got a lot of reports as well that Ukraine is potentially going to have to fall back here some more and start retreating if they don't get this aid package from Congress here in the United States pretty soon. Zelensky was reporting that yesterday, that they're going to have to start retreating in what he calls small steps. So, yeah, Ukraine is definitely in a tough spot right now. We also have this article here from Yahoo News says thousands in Odessa Oblast lose power following new Russian attack on energy infrastructure. This just coming out today. Approximately 10,000 customers in Odessa Oblast are currently without power following a recent Russian overnight assault on the region's energy infrastructure, the local administration reported on Telegram on March 31st. Restoration efforts, Earlier in the day, the city council reported that the operation of Odessa's electric public transport had been completely stopped due to a power shortage after the attack. And also, 8 Russian Shahed kamikaze drones were intercepted by Ukrainian air defense forces over Odessa Oblast overnight. Falling debris from the downed drone caused a fire in one of the region's power plants, leaving several settlements without electricity. The fire was extinguished. No casualties were reported. So they're claiming here that these drones were shot down. One of them fell in the facility. We've heard this many times. More than likely, the drone actually did hit the electric facility here, and that's why we're seeing the power outage. So they are saying the fire was extinguished and no casualties were reported. Thank goodness nobody was killed here. But again, these attacks are really doing a lot of damage to Ukraine's electric grid here and their energy infrastructure. And the more that this keeps happening, it's going to be very difficult for Ukraine to stay in this fight. And I was also talking a lot here that in yesterday's video regarding these energy infrastructure attacks from Russia, that there's a big possibility that many of these cities here on the eastern side of Ukraine, especially like Kharkiv, who's been getting hit really badly lately, if they don't have power to supply to these people and they have a hard time getting the energy production facilities back online, they may have to start evacuating people, which could start to artificially, in a way, create this buffer zone that Russia's been talking about. They want buffer zones inside of Ukraine, and this could start to implement that if they have to start evacuating people away from the eastern side of Ukraine. So I want to show you this too. This is on X. This is from Elon Musk, actually. So he came out, I believe it was just yesterday, and he put a post here. He said it was a tragic waste of life for Ukraine to attack a larger army that had defense in depth, minefields, and stronger artillery when Ukraine lacked armor or air superiority. Any fool could have predicted that. I think what he's referring to here is that counteroffensive last year from Ukraine. My recommendation a year ago was for Ukraine to entrench and apply all resources to defense. Even then, it is tough to hold land that doesn't have strong natural barriers. There is no chance of Russia taking all of Ukraine, as the local resistance would be extreme in the west, but Russia will certainly gain more land than they have today. The longer the war goes on, the more territory Russia will gain until they hit the Dnieper, which is tough to overcome. However, if the war lasts long enough, Odessa will fall too. So he's actually warning here that Odessa, the city that I'm actually reporting on right now, could potentially fall. Okay, because Russia does control a lot of the southern portion of Ukraine, a good majority of it. And then they also have Crimea, which is not too far away from Odessa, to be honest. And if they really want to take control of Odessa, they probably could at some point if they start to push forward here, because Odessa is definitely a weak point here. So whether Ukraine loses all access to the Black Sea or not is, in my view, the real remaining question. I recommend a negotiated settlement before that happens. So he's basically saying to kind of, in a way, come to the drawing board here with Russia and negotiate a deal to end this war. Okay, and many people have been coming out and doing this. The Pope Francis as well. He came out and said the same thing, that Ukraine should not be afraid to wave the white flag and basically surrender to Russia. There was a lot of pushback on that from the West, but you know, many people have been coming out and saying this, that Ukraine should try to just negotiate with Russia. And we do have like reports that in a way too, Vladimir Putin has come out even during that Tucker Carlson interview and said that they're willing to negotiate. And I remember right after that interview was done there with Tucker Carlson, the West immediately declined the opportunity to negotiate. I remember that happened. So, you know, obviously it's very controversial. Some people believe that Russia is willing to negotiate, and then some people say no, they're not willing to negotiate. They're obviously attacking Ukraine, and they just want to take Ukraine, and that's it. But regardless, this war is very bad over here, and at the end of the day, Ukraine is in a very bad spot. So I want to show you this last post here on X. This is from DTEK, again, that huge energy company inside of Ukraine, and they put out a report here once again on X saying that SP Global has reported on the massive damage to Ukraine's energy infrastructure from Russia's large-scale attacks last week, and the daunting task of restoring power stations to full operation. However, DTEK's executive director, Dmytro Sakuruk, stressed that repairing the plants will be futile without improved Ukrainian air defenses to protect them from future Russian missile attacks. If we don't have sufficient air defense, they will again be destroyed. It will be very easy for Russia to launch missiles and get a very good result, he warned. The situation has only grown more severe as fresh Russian strikes overnight have inflicted further damage on equipment at 3 DTEK power plants. These repeated attacks underscore the critical need for Ukraine to receive robust air defense systems and emergency energy equipment from its allies as soon as possible. So this is obviously a big statement here, and this shows you how terribly damaged the energy infrastructure in Ukraine is right now. Okay, if they're coming out and reporting this kind of information, that means that they're in a very bad spot. Okay, so again, this is probably hundreds of millions of dollars in damage, and they can't just go and repair this every single time it happens. It's going to cost them millions and millions of dollars to repair these energy facilities every single time they come under attack here. So they obviously are going to have to get more air defense here at some point, and if they don't, the energy infrastructure in Ukraine is going to more likely begin to collapse here. Okay, and that's going to make it much easier for Russia to invade and take over Ukraine if they don't have power. There's going to be massive panic, and there's going to be lots of supplies that are going to have to be sent to Ukraine, and lots of people are going to start wanting to flee the country. So I think that's what Russia's trying to do here is try to take down their grid, take down their major infrastructure of the country to put pressure on Ukraine to make it easier for them to, in a way, collapse so they can take more ground here and take over Ukraine quicker. So I've been reporting this for quite some time, and I just want to say once again that this war is really starting to pick up some steam right here. You can see the landscape of this war, how much it's really escalating. And we haven't been seeing these types of attacks to this extreme, especially from Russia, until basically when this terrorist attack happened just a couple weeks ago near Moscow at the Crocus City Hall. So I think Russia's not messing around here anymore. They did declare that they're in a state of war with Ukraine now. So we're going to be seeing things really start to pick up, and Ukraine's going to continue to struggle here if they don't get some help from the West. So let me know what you think down below. Share your thoughts and opinions on everything I talked about here today. But yeah, that's going to be the latest for this update. If we get more information coming out, I will definitely share that with you. So I appreciate you being here today. If you got something out of this, please smash the like button. And also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below and hit the notification bell. And just a quick update for you guys too. We're now on Patreon. So if any of you guys want to support my work, feel free to head down to the description of this video, and there's a link to my Patreon if you want to support me. But remember, it is completely optional if you want to. It's just there for you if you want to support. So thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. We'll see you in the next one.